We learned very quickly in our first garden season that we needed to protect our garden with a fence. It's not been an easy process, and we've tried several different methods. And even what we have now is kind of a hodgepodge of several different ones. So what I wanted to show you today is what we have found works really well for our garden now to inspire you to protect your garden. See, we have 3 electric wires going from the top, middle, and the bottom. And this has worked really well to deter deer. Even though technically deer could jump over this, they haven't, and I think a lot of that is because we have a lot of different structures in our garden and they don't have that great of depth perception. Also, I think another contributing factor is our dog is right next to us, so she tends to chase the deer away as well. But we quickly noticed that the electric fence didn't deter rabbits. We found that even at the bottom level, the electric wire was not deterring the rabbits. They were either going underneath them or jumping in between the lines. And that's when we realized that we had to do something different. The first thing we did is build these chicken tunnels to go around the perimeter of our garden. We love our chicken tunnels because the chickens have a nice, easy place to roam. They also are able to do pest control and weed patrol, and we love that. We created the chicken tunnels out of welded wire, however, and we found pretty quickly that rabbits could fit in between the welded wire area. That's why you see a little bit of reinforcement here with the chicken wire, just to make sure the rabbits can't get through the chicken tunnels. Overall though, this has been a great way to add this great place for our chickens and be able to protect from rabbits in our garden. Plus our chickens enjoy being able to have their access to weeds whenever we're weeding the garden. In the areas where we don't have chicken tunnels, we still needed something to protect from both rabbit and deer. You can see we have the electric fence right up here to protect from deer. Again, they could jump over it, but they just haven't so far. Down here is more important though. This is where we have rabbit fencing. And the thing about rabbit fencing is you see it has this square here, but then at the bottom you have much smaller area where the rabbits can't get through. And so far this has been successful. Now there is an area of our garden where we ran out of the rabbit fencing, and instead of buying new ones, we ended up going with something we already have on hand, and it might just be something that you have on hand too. When we ran out of rabbit fencing, instead of going and buying new rabbit fencing, we thought we would try chicken wire, which is less expensive and we already have it on hand. So far it's worked out really well. The only difference with the chicken wire that we have found is that it's quite a bit more flimsy, and so you have to mount your T-post or whatever you're going to be mounting your fence in between a little bit closer to take that into account. But for all intents and purposes, it's worked out really well for us. So Alyssa, do you have any thoughts for homeowners who have electric fence, what they might need to be cautious about?
Not to touch it because it really stings. And not to get near it and start talking and not know what you're doing and accidentally touch it. Because you've done it a lot.
What happens when you touch it? Have you touched it?
Yeah, when I was in kindergarten. It hurts.
How did it feel?
It was like a big stain. I started crying because of it. It really hurt.
Kind of shocking, huh?
Yeah.